Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are doing well. This is your host Nisar. In this video, I wanted to give you a quick update on what has changed in border crossing from, Canada to USA via land. I have made a video last year in 2023, around a year ago. That is the highest viewed video in my channel as of now. So I wanted to make a quick follow-up video on what has changed from 2023 to 2024 and what are the things you need to take care of and all other points. If you haven't seen the video, I'll link it up here so that you can have a look at that. In that video, I have given a detailed overview of what will happen, what documents you need to carry, and what if you are taking a rental car or your own car, what of insurance and all that. So do check that video out. And for any changes that have happened over the past year, stay tuned. I'll let you know what has happened. I'll try to see if I can show you the whole journey of what has happened and me going through the immigration booth and all that. Let's see how that goes. So let's get started. So guys, we are crossing the bridge or border from Niagara Falls border. This is via the Rainbow Bridge. This is the way onto the Rainbow Bridge. Right now we are entering into the Rainbow Bridge. Let's see how the traffic is on the bridge, and yeah, we'll go from there. Quick tip, guys, if you are traveling for the first time after you have received your visitor visa for the United States and you are traveling via land, this is not applicable if you are traveling via air. But if you are traveling via land, once you reach the immigration booth, the immigration officer would check your status, and as this is your first time traveling, he will ask you to park your car in the designated parking spot, and then he'll ask you to go to the second floor. Here in Niagara, it's at the second floor, the immigration office, and you'll be given a token. Once you go to the second floor, your name would be called. You will go to the immigration office who has your passport. The passport would be directly transferred from the booth to the second floor office. That's an interesting thing. They have a pipe system of some kind, I'm not sure, but you can look into that. So after you have gone to the office, you'd be called out by your name, and you'd get your standard questions which you are asked here. Where are you going? When are you planning to come back? Where are you staying? And all that. And after the questionnaire has been completed, you will be asked to give your fingerprints, and the immigration officer will also take a photo of you, and you will ask to pay $6 fees or $8 fees. I'm not sure. That is because that is the entry and exit charge into the United States. If you are traveling via air, that is usually included in the ticket. That is the reason you wouldn't know. But if you are traveling via land, you will have to pay it, and this fees is valid for 6 months. So let's say that today on October 1st, if you have entered into the United States and you have paid, so you can leverage this for the 6 months. Let's say after 3 or 4 months you are for the new year you are planning to visit US. In that case, you didn't need to pay the 6 months. Only after 6 months, after your previous I-94 has been expired, in that case you need to pay the $6. So usually what happens is that let's say you have done all the process, you have been to the US, and then you have came back after 1 month, or let's say 2 months, you wanted to visit again. In this case, you would just usually drive to the border, and then the booth, the immigration officer would verify. If you have a valid I-95, then there's no requirement for you to stop and go to the immigration office. You can just go through the immigration line. I feel that is what is gonna happen with me, because I have been to the US in the last couple of weeks. I would say I've been in the US 3 weeks back with a friend, and also before that I went to visit my brother. He stays in the US. That was around 45 days or 2 months back. Yeah, so that is how things happen. Let's see how things go. Yeah, officer.
Hello.
Good evening.
You know your back window for me.
Sure.
What's your citizen of what country?
India.
Where do you live?
Mississauga.
Where are you going to?
Just to explore the city. I'll be back by end of the day.
Oh, day trip.
Yeah.
When's the last time you were in the U.S.?
It's been 3 or 4 weeks. I don't recall the exact date.
Are you bringing anything in from Canada?
No, nothing.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day. Okay, see, that was easy. If you've already been to the US, if you have a valid identify, you'll just get a couple of questions on where you are going, why you are going, and when are you planning to come back. That's it, and you would be granted the entry into the United States. Now for the important part, the documents required when you are traveling to the US. First, the most obviously the passport, that is for sure needed with a valid visa. And second thing would be if you have a Canadian passport, that's fine. If you don't have a Canadian passport, in that case you would need a valid return visa, either your permanent resident card or your student visa or your work permit. That is required for you to show at the Canadian border when you are entering back into Canada. So please be careful and carry those documents. So that is in terms of what you need when you are traveling in terms of immigration. Now I would highly recommend for you to carry your original driving license, your insurance with you, and your car registration always stays with you. These are also the 3 important documents if you are traveling by road. Also, I would highly recommend for you to get a travel insurance if you are traveling, say suppose for 2 or 3 weeks, because medical treatment here in US is way too much costly. So it's not like you are covered through OHIP. This is the case even if you are visiting other provinces in Canada, but be sure to get a travel insurance just to be on the safer side. Or if you have a credit card like American Express Platinum card, they do offer a travel insurance. So check with your credit card company if you have anything, then you would be lucky. Let's talk about the frequently asked questions which I get when people are traveling to the US via land. So most people have a doubt about G2 driving license. The most common question which I get is that I have a G2 driving license, can I drive in the United States? Technically yes, but I would advise you to look at the websites of the states which you would be visiting or transiting through, because in US some states do accept G2 and they'll allow drivers to drive on G2, but some states say that you need a full driving license in order for you to drive. So I would highly recommend for you to check those states website wherever you are visiting, or if you are transiting through some states. Let's say that you are going to Washington DC, you would be transiting through New York and Pittsburgh, and then you will be arriving at Washington DC. So please, you'll have to check on the websites of 3 states if you are allowed to drive on G2. If you are not allowed to drive in a particular state, and if you are pulled over, you might get a ticket for not having a valid driving license. Yes, so please be careful about that. The next question which I often get is about insurance. So does my Canadian insurance work in US? So yes, Canadian insurance does work in US, but you'll need to inform your insurance company that you are traveling to US, and in that case they would advise you to get a liability coverage of 2 million as you are traveling through United States. That's completely up to you. You can you can keep your normal coverage as 1 million, or you can increase up to 2 million, whatever you are comfortable. But there would be every insurance company has its own rules on how many days you can stay in US. In terms of my insurance, I can stay up to 6 months, not more than 6 months. So be careful of that. Check with your insurance provider how much or what they allow. Next question is, let's say a group of 5 people are traveling, 5 friends are traveling to the US, and they all have a valid driver's license, but insurance is on the primary driver or on the person who is owning the car. Can others drive in this scenario? See, this is same in US or in Canada. You cannot drive a car without a valid insurance. God forsaken, if you get into an accident, right, you are the driver who is driving the car, so you might be denied. That's not the case only in US but also in Canada, because you do not have a insurance for the car which you are driving, so be careful of that. Next question I often get is that how many days you can stay in US once you have entered on a B1 B2 visa. See, technically your visa is valid for 10 years, but that is multiple entry, and on a stay you can stay up to a maximum of 6 months. But you cannot take advantage of this part, because when you are entering into the US you would be asked when you are planning to return, so that would be noted into their system. So let's say that you have postponed your trip, you are staying overstayed for 1 week or 2 weeks, that shouldn't be a problem if you have a valid reason. But let's say that you have entered with an intention of staying for a month to visit your family, and then you have stayed for 5 or 6 months and you are going back. So going back would not be a problem, but later stages when you are re-entering into the United States, you will be questioned for the previous overstay, and you might be denied entry into the USA, even though you have a valid tourist visa, and also the tourist visa might get cancelled, so beware of that. Okay, next question which I often get is that what happens to the speeding tickets or any challans or tolls which are automated? What happens to those? So usually Canada and US share a common database with the DMV. So let's say that you have entered an automated toll road here in New York, your license plate would be automatically read, and then within 2 or 3 weeks after your transit you would get a mail saying that you owe so and so amount to the toll authority, and you have an option to send a check or pay it online. The same happens with if you have any speeding tickets or anything. So also people ask me if you can skip those. I would highly recommend for you to pay those on time, because they would be up your history for a long time. Even if you are not traveling to the US in future, let's say that you have a minor ticket or a conviction or something in Canada, right? These unpaid parking tickets or unpaid fines or unpaid tolls, they may come up. So I would highly recommend for you to pay such tickets on time. Yes, one more interesting question which I get a lot is that let's say someone has both Canadian and US tourist visa. So he is in Canada right now on tourist visa, and he has entered into the United States, or vice versa. If he is in US and then he has entered into the Canada for a couple of days or for a couple of weeks, and then once he goes back to the country where he has been staying, does it reset the 6 months stay? Which is usually granted upon first entry. No, it does not. Even for Canada and for US, that's the same thing. Your stay doesn't reset for if you are traveling between these two countries, so beware of that. You would either need to go back to your home country and then come back, and if you are coming back, you would be questioned on why you are visiting the United States so frequently, so keep that in mind. Another tip or suggestion which I would like to give to my viewers is that try to maintain or stick to the speed limits which are posted on the roads, because you get pulled over often if you are speeding in the United States. I would say more when compared to when you are driving in Canada, so be careful of that. And also some states have different rules for the left sign, the same as in Canada, because Montreal doesn't allow for you to go left on a signal. Those same rules kind of apply here in different cities and different states, so be careful when you are driving here in United States, because this is a new territory for you. Be careful of that. So after my short trip, I am going back home. Let me show you what happens at the Canadian side of immigration. Let's say you're going back home, what happens, what kind of questions you get asked. As all of you know, I'm a permanent resident. The set of questions may vary depending on if you are a citizen or if you are a permanent resident or student or a work permit holder. So let's see. When you are exiting US, this is the first stop where you'll have to pay the toll for entering into the Canada, or I'm not sure, for using the Rainbow Bridge. This was not there when you are going to US, but once you are coming back, you are required to pay toll. I believe it's 8 or 7 US dollars, that will come up to 10 or 11 Canadian dollars. And after we pay our toll, we go to the immigration line. I see that there's a heavy line here at immigration. I think it would take around 20-25 minutes for me to clear the immigration. So there's that. I can barely see what the toll price is. Okay, it's $5 US and $6.50 Canadian. There's that for you. Hi, I would like to pay by card. Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, officer.
Pull your back window down for me.
Sure.
Where do you live?
Mississauga.
How long have you been outside of Canada?
I just went this morning
So what was the purpose of the trip?
just to explore the Buffalo City.
So where did you go?
Nowhere actually. I had dinner at an Indian restaurant. I went to a few parks and then I'm back.
Did you buy or receive anything while you were gone?
No.
Did you pick up any goods that were shipped in the U.S.?
No.
Did you shop at duty free in either direction?
No.
All right, have a good day.
Thank you. Have a good day. So that was the brief questionnaire of the Canadian immigration officer when I am returning from the USA. Pro tip: if you are on student visa, on student permit or work permit, I would highly recommend for you to carry the original copy with you, because there are cases where immigration officer does request them. So do keep that in mind. That's it for this video, guys. I hope this video was helpful to someone as usual. I have made this trip especially for you guys so that I can give you an updated info on what is happening with the border crossing. So I would highly appreciate if you have subscribed and recommend this video to your friends and family if you have liked the content. Thank you very much. Have a good day.